Some hauntings follow a person, some follow a place, and some follow a pattern. Black Hollow had learned Mara's shape, her voice, her breath, her grief. But the Hollow was not satisfied with one imitation. It was building something larger, something collective, something that required repetition. The first sign came from a man named Jonah Pike, a delivery driver, a man who worked nights, a man who had driven the same route for 12 years without incident. At 1:14 a.m., Jonah was driving past the edge of the hollow when he saw a woman standing in the road. Barefoot, clothes torn, hair matted. He slammed the brakes, skidded, stopped inches from her. She didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't react. Jonah rolled down his window, called out, "Are you hurt?" The woman lifted her head. It was Mara, or something wearing Mara. Jonah froze. His breath caught, his pulse hammered. Then he saw another woman step out of the trees. Also Mara, then another, and another, and another. 5, 7, 9. All identical, all barefoot, all staring at him with the same incomplete face. Jonah threw the truck into reverse, floored it, didn't stop until he reached the gas station. He ran inside, screaming, crying, shaking. The clerk called the sheriff. When the sheriff arrived, Jonah was curled on the floor, muttering the same phrase over and over. They were learning to walk. The sheriff drove to the location Jonah described. The road was empty. The trees were still. The air was cold. But the asphalt was wet with footprints. Dozens of them. All the same size, all the same shape, all leading back into the hollow. The second sign came from a woman named Teresa Long, a nurse, a mother, a woman who had lost her daughter 5 years earlier. She woke at 3:07 a.m. to the sound of someone crying outside her bedroom window. Soft, broken, childlike. She thought it was a dream. She thought it was memory. She thought it was grief reaching out from the past. But the crying continued. Teresa opened the curtains. A girl stood in the yard, barefoot, hair tangled, clothes torn. Her daughter, or something wearing her daughter. Teresa screamed, stumbled back, covered her mouth. The girl looked up, tilted her head, smiled. Then another girl stepped out of the trees, then another, then another. 4, 6, 8. All identical, all crying, all calling the same word. Mom. Teresa collapsed. Her neighbors found her on the floor hours later, alive, but unresponsive. She hasn't spoken since. The sheriff visited her in the hospital. She didn't look at him, didn't blink, didn't react. But when he said the word hollow, her heart monitor spiked. The third sign came from the school. Again. A teacher named Mr. Collins was grading papers when he heard footsteps in the hallway. Soft, bare, slow. He assumed it was a student, a prank, a late-night wanderer. He stepped into the hall. A girl stood at the far end, facing him. Still. He called out, "Do you need help?" The girl took a step forward, then another. Then she whispered something. Mara. Mr. Collins frowned. He didn't know anyone by that name. Then a second girl stepped out of a classroom, then a third, then a fourth, all identical, all whispering the same name. Mara. Mr. Collins ran, locked himself in the supply closet, called the sheriff. When the sheriff arrived, the hallway was empty, but the floor was covered in small, wet footprints. The sheriff knew what was happening. The hollow was no longer mimicking Mara. It was replicating her, multiplying her, distributing her. Not as a person, as a template, a pattern, a prototype. The fourth sign came from the sheriff himself. He was driving home when he saw a woman standing in the road, barefoot, clothes torn, hair matted. Mara. He braked. Hard. Skidded to a stop. The woman didn't move. The sheriff stepped out of the car, hand on his holster, heart pounding. "Mara," he whispered. The woman tilted her head, as if listening, as if learning. Then she spoke, not with Mara's voice, with many voices, layered, stacked, overlapping, a chorus of whispers all speaking the same word. "Below." The sheriff stumbled back, raised his gun, hands shaking. The woman took a step forward, then another. Then she split. Her body blurred, shimmered, multiplied. One Mara became two. Two became four. Four became 8. All identical. All staring. All whispering. "Below." The sheriff ran, got into his car, drove until the road blurred. He didn't stop until he reached the station. He locked the doors, turned off the lights, sat in the dark, breathing, shaking, waiting, because he knew what it meant. The hollow was not sending Mara back. It was sending an army, not of people, not of ghosts, not of creatures, of attempts. Attempts at a shape, attempts at a voice, attempts at a body, attempts at entry. Black Hollow is no longer imitating. It is no longer learning. It is no longer testing. It is producing. And whatever it is producing is getting closer to perfect.